welcome to another episode. Let me stop playing. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's another episode of Site School. I'm excited right now. The only reason I did that is because I got the new headphones with the microphone. Got the voice coming through like I'm on the radio right now. But what's going on, Joe?
What's going on, man? You sound like the quiet storm over there. He got that new gear.
Right. Cue the R&B.
Man, come on.
Cue the Donnell Jones, the Drew Hill, the Boys to Men.
Come on.
Yeah.
And he got the background popping for those who can't see it. He's speaking it into existence. He got that stadium for Tokyo 2021 back there.
Absolutely. Give him that description of it.
Man,
What it looks like.
let me tell you. So the oval pop in the track, and it looked like it's one, two. It's a three-tier stadium with the roof. It's not fully enclosed. It's probably like 25% roof going all the way around, so it's bringing in that
Let that
good
sunlight
natural
in.
light. Yeah, that thing look good. And where Lex sitting, he got his back out to the track. If I'm guessing, to his right would be the home stretch for that on that 400. It look good, man.
Yeah. There we go. So yeah, everybody, the Tokyo Stadium is complete. It's waiting on me and the rest of Team USA to come out there and and get our spikes and
Do
put that
everything.
good energy out there, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited about that. And we actually just had a meeting probably a week or so ago, just talking about some of the things that we're going to have to abide by, the rules and regulations that the athletes are going to have to deal with. But hey, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do when that gold is on the line. So
Hey, come on.
hey, it's going to look a little different, but we still going to have a good time with it.
Hey, man, you trying to bring home that hardware?
Always,
Yeah, yeah.
always. But we got some other exciting news
Oh
for
man, yeah.
everyone right now. You know, you got to pull up the site school. Oh, I can't even talk.
Hold on. Whoa. Let's
Site
get the words
school
together. Come on.
shirts.
I'm gonna hold it up for you right here. We got something popping for you,
Site
baby.
school. Yes.
So
We got the merch.
so listen,
So yeah, give them that description.
this we got the heather gray, soft material, feel good. You could sleep in this if you wanted to, but really we want you to
Hmm.
wear it out and about. It got the site school on the front, got the site school and got the site in charcoal gray, got school in red with the two O's replaced with the glasses because we teaching people to see.
Always.
So Lex, tell them what sizes we got. What we got for them?
We got to for those who continue to listen to the
Oh,
rest of
come
the
on,
episode,
come on.
we are going to give away a size small, medium, large, and extra large. So that's four t-shirts. Is that a men's size or is it
Uh,
unisex? You know?
unisex.
Okay. Okay. So we got a unisex, small, medium, large, and extra large. But you gotta stick around to the end of the show so you can figure out how to enter to get one of these new shirts fresh off the press.
Hey, you want to be the first because soon everybody going. How'd you get that site school tee? How did you get that?
Uh-huh.
So
Definitely
make
want to
sure.
be on that bandwagon for sure,
There
for
we
sure.
go. There we go. But man, as y'all see by the title of this episode, we talking about something that a lot of people just they're either curious about or they just don't know
Hmm.
anything about it at all. But to spark it off, man, and some people saw it. I guess it depends on where you were or whatever. But I'm in North Carolina, man. So I was watching the Super Bowl and a commercial came on, and it looked like an action movie trailer. And the lady was talking. She was describing this car driving through the desert at high speeds, and then she said there was a man standing on the top of a sand dune with armored vehicles behind him. And I'm like, man, what movie is it? Like some Mad Max, some Terminator? What is this?
Right.
So then they showed a lady sitting on the couch, and she was sitting there. She was facing the TV, but she had her phone in her lap. And then it showed her husband in the kitchen. He was trying to figure out what was going on, and she had like her earbuds in. Well, she had one in, and then basically what they were saying was the phone. There's an app. So it was a Spectrum cable commercial. So Spectrum has an app that will give you audio description of what you're watching but it's through the app and you listening to it, so it's not regular audio description. If Lex and I were watching a movie, and Lex would need the audio description, I would hear the audio description just as much as Lex would. But with Spectrum, what it seems like they're trying to do is allow you to have the audio description, but not take away from everybody else in the room. But you are still getting that same experience. And man, I made a post about it. We dropped a site school post about it. I mean, to me, I feel like that's a huge step in the right direction. I
Now, did
feel
she
like
have,
that.
not to
Go
cut
ahead.
you off, did she have on like headphones on
She had
or
like a like the little what are the Apple earbuds?
okay,
She had like a
the
little
AirPods or
AirPod. Yeah, she had
okay,
like one in her ear, and then I guess she only had one, so she could hear like the actual action as it was going on the TV. But I think the
right.
app does all of that. Like it's gonna play the sound from the movie and the audio description at the same time.
So do they have that available for anything that you watch? If you had sports on, or if you had on A and E,
Yeah,
or
I don't know if it works for like live sports. I think it might be in like an on demand kind of thing.
got you.
I don't know if if you watching the show this, if your
That's
favorite show
live.
comes, yeah, if your favorite show come on every Tuesday, I don't know what they'd have the audio description for, because I was looking into that, like how does that work.
Yeah,
I've been to movie, not movie theaters, but I've been to like a theater, like where a play's going on,
yeah,
and they've had somebody up in the booth and you can get some headphones and they can do the audio description. But I
right.
don't know I don't know how fast that turnaround would be for a just like a regular TV show, so to
Yeah.
speak.
No, that totally makes sense because if you go to a play and there's someone in the booth, you would assume that they probably seen the play before. I
Hmm.
would think so that they are given the same description over and over and over
Yeah.
again. I would almost think that maybe they record it once. Maybe that person is in the booth doing the description once and it's being recorded. So then
Yeah.
anytime a person comes into the theater afterwards, and maybe they can just replay whatever that that recording. But I think, well, the other thing too is if it's a play and everyone, you got the actors on stage, then it might be one of those things where that person is having to be in the booth all of the time, just
Hmm.
because even though they're acting and playing out all of the scenes, sometimes it isn't perfect, right? Like sometimes
Yeah.
they may go a little quicker, a little slower, and if it is a recording, if it's not able to align with what's actually going on with the humans on stage, then you might be a little too far ahead in your
Yeah.
recording, or you may be a
You
little
might be
too
too
far
far
behind.
behind. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I know, man, I myself haven't used a lot of audio description, but the way like especially when I was younger, consumed my television, I was up on it.
yeah.
My nose was
He
right
was
there on
inside
that
the
glass.
TV.
Yeah, my nose was right there on that glass of that tube TV. It makes me think. I can remember when I was a kid and my grandma had a floor model TV. And for those of y'all that don't know, it was a TV that you sat on the floor. It was huge though. And man, I used to lay down on the floor right in front of that thing. Everybody knew, man, we got to go in another room or we just gonna have to sit where we can see this TV because he got to get up close on it. But Lex, for you growing up, man, what was that like? Especially when you started to lose your vision.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of audio description, not because it wasn't available. It was just because I preferred to listen to the television shows and movies or series, whatever it is. I
Mm,
prefer to listen to it and piece together my own scenes,
okay,
understanding
man, I don't
how it
think I
all,
heard that one before.
hey, piece it together and kind of make my own storyline from a mental standpoint. I will say the challenging thing is that when when you have those moments where there's no dialogue, now that's when you want some audio description because there's some things that's happening on the screen where you need to know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah,
So for those times, I think that it's really good. I know Netflix. They have I don't even know the name of it, but it's their version of describing what's going
Mm,
on on the screen, which I've used that a little bit. Who else? I've gone to the movies once before and asked for the headset. So when I was able to, went inside of the movie theater, sat down, had my popcorn, everything, put the headphones on, and it gave me some description. But I will say one of the challenging things is sometimes either the description will it will unveil the surprise right before it happens.
yeah,
You'd be like,
yeah.
oh man. And like it'd be like, oh, Susie slaps John in the face. The next thing you know, 2 seconds later,
And
and
look, and you
so
already knew it was gonna happen.
right, exactly. So sometimes I feel like it can ruin the surprise. And circling back to my point originally about sometimes I just like to piece it together. If you have a really good dialogue and Susie and John, they're arguing, oh my gosh, you're getting on my nerves. What did I do? I didn't do anything. You know what you did. You know what you did. And then next thing you know, ah, then as a person who can't see the screen, okay, John just got
Yeah,
it. John just
yeah.
got, you know,
You got pimp slap.
exactly. So that's what I mean by putting the scenes together. It makes it fun, but also there are times too where with the storyline, it probably would make it better to have that insight and additional information so that you can accurately follow along just like the next person.
I know, man. For me, some things I struggle with in regards to like watching TV and movies. I got a hard time with subtitles. If they speak in another language, I gotta ask my wife or somebody, man, what are they saying? Or if I'm watching it by myself, man, I had to like pause it
Yeah,
and read it, and
I
then
was going to ask that.
pause it again and read it. Like I said, especially if, they speak in another language, or sometimes I can see what you're saying by just piecing it together. Sometimes, man, I just let it roll. I'll figure it out once we go.
Yeah,
And and then something I hate though is like if we go to the movies, or if I go to a movie by myself, and the movie starts off with like words on the screen, like with some sort of uh text or title that comes with there. I get so mad because I'm like, man, I can't even see it in here. Even if I was to take like my bioptic in there and look at it, like I'm not gonna be able to read it fast enough.
yeah,
So that throws me off, man. But then I always think about, they do commercials or even like moments in TV shows where it's just like that dramatic moment and it's just music playing.
yeah,
Like in those moments, are you just piecing together what might be happening?
yeah. No, totally. And you talking about that right now makes me think, do they have any audio description for commercials? I know that they are they're short in length. You have a 30-second TV spot,
Mm-hmm.
but some of those are just as impactful and
Yep.
eye popping, eye catching. And so having that description, I think would be really cool.
And then some commercials don't even have they're not even talking. It's just music playing.
Exactly.
So you really don't even know what the commercial's about.
Yeah. No, I think that's that, man. We need to talk to somebody, see if we can get
Yeah, we're gonna have to
some audio described commercials for the ones that need
somebody
it.
gonna somebody gonna be hearing from site school pretty soon.
Hey,
For real.
immediately. Have you been
Immediately.
checking out? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say, what about like sports? I know like if I'm watching like sports, some things I struggle with, like the score, because the score is always small,
Yeah,
so I might have to get up from the TV and walk up to it and look. And then
yeah,
sometimes, let's say I'm not at my house, I'm somewhere, watching the game with friends or at a restaurant somewhere watching the game.
yeah.
Man, if we don't have a table up under the TV or wherever, I just got to go off of the crowd because
Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be able to see what's going on. But the best experience for me with sports is like going live and I can look up at the big screen and watch it.
Uh-huh.
I'm all right. But even then, I still can't see the score that's up there. But I get a better a better view of things.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. And I think when it comes to sports, that's when I really rely on the commentators.
Mm-hmm.
First option for me is if I can listen to the game on the radio, then
Yeah.
that's what I prefer to do because they are making sure that you get every single detail
Yeah.
from the stitching of how the jerseys
Come
and
on.
the color of the numbers and what the
Mm-hmm.
numbers are outlined in, what color the numbers are outlined in, what color the helmets are if they're playing football, and the pants, all of those things. So they really paint that picture for you. When I transition over to the TV, not as much description, which I feel like there could be some improvement there. But in terms of the gameplay, I think I think Tony Romo does a really good
Mm-hmm.
job. We're talking about football. He does a really good job. I think being a player and being able to explain what's going on from the player perspective, and then also from his perspective as a commentator, I think is a nice combo. Troy
Yeah.
Aikman is really good too when he's doing the football commentating. Um, but I really depend on those commentators to give that detail. And to your point, also, sometimes they don't give that detail. Actually, I mean, a lot of times they don't. I think the assumption is people can see what's
Everybody
going
can
on the
see it.
screen,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
and uh and there are a lot of times where I use the sounds of what's going on inside of the stadium. So if your favorite team has the football and they're marching down the field, then more times than none the crowd is going to be a lot more silent or quiet because they want the quarterback and the receivers, everybody on the field, to be able to hear the signals. But on the contrary, if the visiting team has a football, crowd is going to be going crazy, right? They're going to be trying to
Yeah,
disrupt and
it's gonna make some
distract
noise.
everyone so they won't be able to hear anything. So that lets me know that, oh, okay, my team is on defense. We about to go in here and shut them down, and the opposition is on offense because we want to try to mess them up and confuse them. But then when you think about the home team, my team, if they have the football, then they score that touchdown, the place is going bananas, going absolutely crazy. So that lets me
Mm-hmm.
know that, all right, cool, my team got into the end zone. And of course, I would assume that the commentators would say something about that at that time. So there's definitely a lot of using context clues. But one of my favorite sports to listen to is basketball because they have those. They do it in football too. The fields are mic'd up. They got mics
Yeah,
everywhere, so
yeah.
you can clearly hear the players out there yelling and screaming and hooping and hollering. But in basketball, you can hear the shoes squeaking on the hardwood floor. You can hear the ball bouncing. You can even hear the players talking also. But one of my favorite sounds ever is when a
It
player
goes.
shoots that basketball and it goes through the hoop, nothing but net. It's almost like they have a microphone right there, and it's
Yeah.
just a like that sound is unmatched.
Hey man, hey, we might need to record that one. You sell
Right.
it.
Well,
You
yeah,
made that
they need to
sound
put
on
me on
point.
NBA
Yeah. 2K.
2K22.
That man sounded just like it. But you know what,
Yeah,
you're right, because I feel like two things. First, touching on the basketball, I feel like because basketball is a sport that doesn't require a lot of space, so it's a lot more interactive,
yeah,
right? Like what you were talking about with the microphones.
yeah,
Because I know for me, I it's easier for me to watch a basketball game than it is a football game, because on a basketball game there's not a lot of changing in like the frames. Everything's pretty
yeah,
much side by side up and down the court, but then the court's a lot more defined. There's not as many people on there, so visually for me it's a easier game on the eyes to watch.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody's inside, so the lighting's the same. There's a lot more
I didn't think
consistency.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's a lot more consistency, because I'm gonna tell you something that's really hard for me about watching football. If it's a game, in the afternoon or whatever, and the sun's going over the stadium, so part of the stadium has a shadow cast over it,
right.
you know, the yeah, they got these nice cameras that kind of do the autofocus or whatever. But even still, it takes me a second to adjust to that.
Yeah.
Watching it on TV. But then the other part, talking about basketball and the noise, there's been times I might have been sitting further away from the TV in the game zone. Well, I know when them shoes are squeaking, man,
Uh-huh.
somebody getting ready to make a play. Like
Uh-huh.
you know what that means. Somebody setting up for something, or they got their ankles broken. But that yeah, that basketball is mic'd up, man. You can hear that for sure.
Absolutely. And going back to something that you said earlier, when you're in big crowds, I really don't like to check out sports within big crowds because people in there talking too much. And I can't hear nothing, especially
Yeah.
Super Bowl parties. People like to get together and have the food, have the music, and all
Mhm.
of those types of things. But I would rather be by myself so that I can listen to the game and hear what's going on.
Yeah,
Because people can,
especially if it's your team and you wanna,
yes,
be into it. Now I feel you on that. Cause
yes,
I went to man, it was some years ago. I went to a Super Bowl party, and that was the first time I really realized that I couldn't watch it like I wanted to because for me, I it's gonna sound crazy, but I really had to focus. And
right,
then after a while, I just stopped watching it because one, I couldn't, I didn't have the best like seating arrangement, right? I wasn't close enough or whatever,
yeah,
and then it was just so much going on around me. It was almost like a sensory overload.
right,
And then it was kind of like they had the TV like in a part of the living room, so it wasn't really like lit around the TV.
yeah,
If that makes sense, like they didn't have a lot of the lights on because the TV was lighting up the space. But every time I got up, I was like stepping on something or what. It just wasn't optimal for what I needed. So I
hmm.
was like, man, I'm not even gonna go back over there and look at it. I'm gonna sit over here and talk because I couldn't really see.
No, I definitely get that. And I'm even thinking about, I'm about to stunt for a second. I went to the Super Bowl in 2016.
Man,
That's when the Panthers went.
tell them.
And them Carolina Panthers, they played the Denver Broncos. Didn't like that result, but the experience was absolutely it was pretty phenomenal. We flew up to San Francisco and on the day of the game took a shuttle down to Santa Clara to the 49ers stadium and got there, tons and tons of people everywhere. Finally get to I had like these NFL NFL cocktail party.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it a cocktail? No, not a cocktail party.
Yeah, well,
What's before the game? Before the game starts,
oh,
do you have
tailgate,
tailgate party? Thank you, thank
tailgate.
you.
Bro said a
So,
cocktail party.
yeah, I had not that. Had an NFL tailgate party, and we go in there. It's this huge tent. It's this special occasion. I'm hanging out with some people from one of my sponsors that I had at the time, and we're getting grabbing food and snacks and things like that. They had Journey was performing somewhere off in the distance. I think they had who else was in there? I don't think it was Jennifer Lopez. I'm blanking on all of the entertainment that was inside of this
Yeah,
humongous tent. They had, I think, somebody had spotted out Shaq. He was in there. Somebody spotted out Tom Brady and his wife Giselle. So there was just a ton of celebrities inside of this tailgate party. We finally got to the time when the game was about to start. So we go find our seats. I had a headset, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working. So I was like,
oh
oh,
man,
that messed up my whole motion. And then I had my cell phone also. I think I tried to tap into the game using TuneIn Radio, and for some reason, I don't think that was working either. I want to say I had gotten the game for a little bit, but it was behind. So I was just like, you know what? Let me turn off my phone, and and I was with one of my really good friend, or with a good friend, and he and I was just using him as a play-by-play. I could hear a little bit of the game, the players on on the field, talking and things like that. But
yeah,
it was a lot of commotion and a lot of a lot of activity going on in the stadium, so I wasn't
Yeah.
really able to get a full picture of what was going on. So having some sort of audio description would have been incredible for that type of event.
Man, that's like, for me, sporting events I've gone to, like I said, I'm always looking up at the big screen. But I feel like, a lot of people, for the most part, they're kind of doing that. But the sport I really like going to was hockey. Before I moved, in Nashville, I was going to the Preds games,
Yeah,
man, all the time, like crazy. Every now and then, I might get a good seat up close. But then I realized for me, sitting up like real close to the action, it was harder to see,
mm,
because now I've lost that the like the angle to look
yeah,
down onto it, and now I'm sitting more kind of like eye level. So I didn't, I enjoyed the experience, but I didn't enjoy the experience. Like I enjoyed the experience of being up close, and I could hear them, even better talking to each other, and
yeah,
them crashing into the boards and stuff. But I was like, even like looking up at the screen was uncomfortable because now it's almost like you're sitting too close to a movie screen. Like you can't even
yeah.
enjoy it because you're getting a crick in your neck looking up. So that's something, and I would tell people, they don't, how do you see what's going on? How do you enjoy it? And I'm like, man, I just had to find the right place to sit pretty much, where I could
Look
look
at that.
down and see what's going on, but then I can still look up or look over at the big screen
Yeah,
to collect the information of the game was happening. But like football, going to it live, it don't matter where I sit. It's gonna be, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to see that.
yeah. No, and I can totally understand that. These stadiums these days, especially the professional ones,
Yeah.
stadiums are gigantic. So unless you, I mean, I don't know who the Tennessee Oh, you know the Titans, man. My bad.
Come
Unless you
on.
know John Harbaugh
Hey, there we
up
go.
there in the Baltimore
Yeah.
Ravens, John give
Yeah.
you a seat on the bench.
On the bench.
It's gonna be tough. But I'm thinking about because I've been to a few hockey games also in person live, and it's definitely for me. It's just a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Just a
noise.
lot of noise. I feel like it's a better experience like hearing it on the TV because you can actually can hear the skates gliding across the ice
Mhm.
and hear the sticks and of course I mean that sound is unmatched when they hit that puck and it goes inside of the net and that
Oh man.
wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah, and the
Yeah.
commentator is like score. They're going
And
crazy,
hey, everybody jump up throwing their hands in the air.
right? Going bananas, absolutely insane. Like I love that type of stuff. I wrote a blog one time about some of my favorite sounds, and a lot of them do revolve around sports. I mean, it's just that it's a spontaneous event. You don't know what's going to happen. You have two teams, two people competing against each other, going you know pound for pound, trying to figure out who's going to come out on top. Like that's absolutely
Yeah.
incredible.
Man, what about concerts? Like, have you feel like you? So I like I give my experience. I know like at concerts, it's man, unless I'm like front row, center stage, I'm just I'm just going for the music.
Yeah,
You know, like I went to see, I went to go see one of my favorite artists. I went to go see Snoop Dogg, and he was performing at the Szn.2 in Nashville. It was on my birthday,
yeah,
and like I knew, I knew Snoop was up there. Well, let me take it back like this. I knew the music, I knew the words, but for all I knew, that could have been Adam on stage walking around. I wouldn't,
yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to see him. And then even when like the cameras, when they put them up on the screens on the side of the stage, I couldn't really see it because it was messing my eyes up because he was walking and the cameras were on him, but then like the cameras were picking up like the screens in the background.
yeah.
So it was like this crazy, I don't even know how to explain it, like effect on the screen. So I just didn't even look at him. There's been very few concerts I've been like able to see the person. And I know most people they probably have that too because they're not sitting that close. But for me, it's like it ain't even no point in me looking at the stage.
I almost feel like it would be better for you to not sit in the nosebleed section, but not be in the first row. I just feel
Yeah,
like being
I
that
see what you're
close to
saying.
the music, to the sounds, you might not really be able to enjoy it like that because your eardrums are being overpowered.
Now
So I feel like
That Snoop concert, I enjoyed because I was a little ways back.
okay,
So yeah, I see what you like. That sound quality was popping where I was. It was good.
yeah,
But
for
what
sure.
about you?
Um, I mean, in terms of the concerts, yeah, I'm obviously going there just for the music.
Mm,
Really going in there to, I mean, the music, and you get into some shows where the artists really they really put their personality out there. So they'll have some of the music, but then they're speaking and telling you about how they came up with the song and what they were doing when they were writing. I think that stuff is really interesting. It gives you more context and meaning to the music. So I think ultimately that just depends on the artist. I went to I've checked out Stevie Wonder 2 times, but the very first time I went, and he was up there playing absolutely everything. Well, people like that, the catalog is just so extensive. I can in my head, I feel like the event planners are just like, you know what, listen, you got 3 hours, just do whatever you want to do
yeah,
because you have the confidence in that person, a person like Stevie, who's gonna get up there and he has music from here to music that could just
man.
wrap
Steve,
around the world, right? Like,
Stevie could go for 4 hours with still leaving some songs on the table.
man, easily. So people like that. I will tell you this story. So um I was in San Diego,
Mm,
and this was when Adele was really hot. It was her 21 album. So she had Rolling in the Deep and a couple other Rolling in the Deep was you couldn't turn on the radio and not hear that,
yeah,
right?
not hear that. Everybody was playing that.
And so she was going to be playing at San Diego State. I had one of my buddies take me up to the ticket booth. I was going to get a couple tickets. When we got there, the lady said she only had one ticket left. So now I got to make a decision. And we step off to the side. My buddy's like, "Oh man, I could take you. I could drop you off." And finally, I said, "You know what? I'm gonna get the ticket." So I buy the ticket. And the day of the concert, well, before we even get to the concert, I'm at the training facility where I train, and I was living on campus, and we have house cleaners, housekeepers. They come in and clean the room and clean the bathroom, stuff like that. I had my Adele ticket on my nightstand or something. I leave the room to go train, come back later on in the day, touch the nightstand just to make sure the ticket is still there. It's empty.
Oh man, come on,
I'm thinking to myself, all right,
come on.
come on. I know they I know the housekeepers would take my
I know
ticket.
they
I
didn't
know they would
jack you.
take my ticket. And eventually like I turned the room upside down, feeling I'm on the ground, feeling around all over the place. I finally find the ticket. And yeah, I want to say maybe that next day or so, my buddy took me to the arena, and one of the attendants that was working the concert helped me find my seat. And I sat there for those 2 hours or so. She was playing that music. It sounded so good. She's one of the few artists I feel like she sounds just as good on the record as she
Yes,
does
it does in
in
person.
real life.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenal show. Had some really good people around me, and yeah. And after the show was over, the attendant they showed me out of the stadium, and I met my buddies. They picked me up. That was that was a lot of fun. I think more than anything, just on a on a human level, it was like it was intimidating because that was something I had never done before, going to a concert like that by myself.
By yourself, man. Kudos to you
But
for that one, bro. That's what's
hey,
up.
for sure, for sure. No, I appreciate that. But yeah, it turned out well. But the music was absolutely phenomenal. And if that opportunity ever came again, where there was only one ticket left, and who knows, it doesn't even have to be one ticket left. That just proved at that moment, like, okay, literally can go out here and do
Bro, you can do
absolutely
it by
anything,
yourself. Yep.
right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're always trying to promote independent achievement. Don't want people to feel as though they have to depend on assistance all of the time. You
Right, right.
certainly want, you would want to enjoy a concert with some of your friends, but if that's not the case, if somebody you want to go check out, and maybe none of your friends want to check that person out, then hey, if you're blind, visually impaired, low vision, you can get out there and enjoy that music just like the next person.
Hey, that's a good one to that's a good one to end on right there, bro. Kudos to
Absolutely.
you. That's
So
what's
hey,
up.
absolutely. So we said it at the beginning
Yep.
that you needed to listen to the end of the show because we're gonna give away one
We can grab a shirt
shirt,
right here.
one small, one medium, one large, and
One
one
of
XL.
these.
So that's four shirts total that my man Joe, I think, is showing you right
Yeah,
now.
I'm holding it up right here.
Unisex,
Yeah.
small, medium, large, extra large. And what we want you to do is get down in the comments. And we've been talking about some of our favorite experiences with sound. Whether you are blind, visually impaired, low vision, you don't even have to be blind.
There you go. You
We
don't even have
want
to
you to,
be.
hey, we want you to drop in the comments and let us know what is one of your favorite
Mm-hmm.
sounds, one of your favorite sounds. And for those who comment, we're gonna have Joseph hit you up, and the best responses, we're going to send one of these shirts out to you, Site School, because
Yeah.
we are
Let's do
always
this.
about.
Let's do
Oh, go
this.
ahead.
Not only comment, but for you like and comment, we're gonna send you a shirt. We're gonna get in touch with you, get your size, and the sizes are first come, first serve. We got one shirt in each size: small, medium, large, extra large. And,
There it is. So comment with what your one of your favorite sounds of all time is. And as Joe mentioned, like the video as well.
so
So let them
listen,
know where we can find us.
hey, so you watching the video on YouTube? Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you got any questions and information you want to share with us, topics you want us to touch on, send us an email at the site school at gmail.com. That's the site school at gmail.com. Hey, Lex,
Hey,
tell them what we out here doing.
we teaching people to see
Man,
always.
hey, we out of here. Peace out.
Out.